Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our post-match debrief following on from Leeds United 1, West Ham United 2. Joining me today to chat over it is from Hammers Fans United. And if you haven't already done so, please make sure you pop over there and give them a subscribe. I'd like to welcome to the channel, Titch. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, Gatesy. Pleasure to be on, and thanks for having me.
No problem at all. No problem at all, sir. For those of you watching live or whenever you choose to do so, please don't forget, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when we upload it to the channel, such as this. Please also don't forget the campaign for Isla is still ongoing. This is in the description below on YouTube and on Facebook. So all we need you to do is just copy and paste this, put it onto your social media platforms. There's a little girl out there that needs help, a family that needs help. You've got a Just Giving link there. All we're asking you to do is to put this on your social media platforms, keep the momentum going. If you're in a position to be able to put in the pot, please consider doing so. Give generously. And I thank you always as much for listening. So, Titch, that wasn't a bad result yesterday, was it?
That was a great result. It really was. You know, me and Peach done a, we just done a Premier League score prediction. And then when we got to that game, I did say that I thought, we needed to score first because of the type of team Leeds are. But to our credit, like, obviously we went behind. We could have went further behind. And, I think it just shows a lot of character to come back and then go on and ultimately win the game. So, yeah, it was a great result considering.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the common consensus was that in the first half, Leeds were the better team. But then in the second half, certainly from probably around about minute 60 onwards, I think the general feeling is that Leeds at that point, just whether they ran out of steam or what, I don't know. But there was a very distinct change in the momentum of the game in our favour.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, at this level, and most of the teams are very similar in regards to what they can bring to the table, so you've got to stay in the game sometimes, and West Ham done that. And like, not last season but previous seasons, after 60 minutes we're 3-0 down. Do you understand? So West Ham, they've stayed in the game, and that's a mentality thing. So there's a lot of credit due, man, because I was watching the BT Sport, and like he was saying, like, it was end to end. Anton Ferdinand was doing it, actually, so end to end. Then he picked up on the shift, and then he was like, "Listen, it's all West Ham now." Then we scored, which obviously got overturned. So man, to come back is it shows a lot about the team to come back into that game.
I mean, you probably think the same thing as me. I mean, going to a hostile atmosphere, which it is, Elland Road. You've got 35,000 screaming, mad, passionate Yorkshiremen and women that are supporting their team, going 1-0 down. And as I say, they were dominating the match, I think it's fair to say, for the first sort of 50, 60 minutes. I think the West Ham of old would have just crumbled. They'd have capitulated. We'd have probably gone on, lost 2-0, 3-0, something like that. But this is a completely different West Ham team, and I've said it many times. Under David Moyes, there's a real belief, there's a real determination, a desire that all the time. Even if we're 0-1 down away from home, the game is still in the balance. The character of the individuals and the team. It's there for all to see.
Exactly. I also want to touch on Lucas Fabianski. I was on I can't remember whose channel. Was it your channel? I don't know which channel was it. Might have been. Was that with Peach? And Fever was in there.
Yep.
And he was saying, like, there's a bandwagon of Fabianski haters. And I said at the time, he hasn't done anything this season to warrant being dropped. And once again, yesterday, from what I saw, is it was fantastic again. Do you understand? So I also said on there, I would gladly see Areola not play in a Premier League this season, because that means that Fabianski and the team is doing well. Do you understand? And I know that it looks like Areola is a long-term thing. So my thing is this. Yeah, there might be a shift in the balance and all that. But Fabianski to me doesn't look on his last legs. My only fault
No.
with him is his distribution and how long he takes to make up his mind. That's always been my criticism of him. That's it. He doesn't look like, like he's no. So like I said, I've got nothing but respect for him, and I don't see him as a liability. And like I said, the longer he keeps his place in the starting team in the Premier League, that means we must be doing something right. And obviously, Moyes is number one at this moment in time, and there has to be a reason for that.
Well, he's still a great shot stopper. Still a great shot stopper. I mean, you're right. His distribution is probably one thing that you could criticise him for, and the other thing is sometimes, when there's crosses played into the box, he's sometimes a bit hesitant to come and dominate his sort of like his 6-yard box, his 18-yard box. He maybe isn't as commanding as maybe once upon a time he was, for reasons that are probably best known to him. But still, when there's a striker with the ball and they're sort of like 20 yards or so from goal and they take a shot at goal, I've still got confidence that Fabianski most of the time will come up trumps, and usually he does.
Yeah, Spurs have just scored.
Yeah. You might have heard my wife.
Yeah, I heard it. Yes.
Yeah. Is that 3-1?
3-1. Yeah.
How long's left?
12 minutes and injury time.
I wouldn't put my money on it. Arsenal had a player sent off. Oh, they got a player down. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Fingers crossed.
She's giving me commentary, guys. What can I do?
Oh dear, how sad.
So I'll deal with her afterwards. No, she'll deal with me. Don't worry about that. I know who wears the trousers in this relationship. I think you guys watching probably do as well.
That comment there is, Casey, please speak about that, because I want to, but obviously I want you to definitely.
Well, I got to pay. I mean, I was at the pub last night. I was at Duke's pub and watching the Anthony Joshua fight. And we were talking about it. And Duke said, that the ball that Declan Rice played in for the winner was Carrick-esque or Scholes-esque or Pirlo-esque. Do you know what I mean? If one of those players had played that ball to Antonio for the winner, everyone would have been sort of like, hailing it. What vision, but that was Declan Rice, that played that ball through, and the first touch to bring it under control, then the second touch was to get it past Shackleton. He was out of the picture, and then the third touch, a nice little, almost passed it into the sort of like the corner of the net. Meslier sort of like tried to make himself big, spread himself, but couldn't get anywhere near it. And obviously, I think it was about 3,000 we took up to Elland Road, went absolutely bananas in the corner, just scenes of absolute pandemonium. But it was the pass from Rice, the finish from Antonio, and like I say, the flick from him before he actually had the shot to get it past Shackleton. You must have just seen him coming out the corner behind his eye, and he's literally just gone, just get it round him, and the finish was superb.
I think if this is what I genuinely believe, as soon as I saw that goal, if Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Mbappe, if they score, and I'm taking Rice out of the equation, I'm just saying what Antonio done in the 90th minute away to Leeds. Obviously, he had to bring the ball under, then he's got to nick it, and then he's got to literally have to. I think that was a world-class goal. And I don't think he would have scored that type of goal in seasons past. And I just think that I'm not a social media person, and I've got a feeling it's not getting the recognition it deserves, because that goal was exceptional, man. That was definitely a world-class goal, in my opinion, man. Like, what a goal, seriously. And it's the winning goal, 90th minute, and we just come back from 1-0 down. That goal there was ridiculous. That's all I can say.
I agree. I think if that was sort of like Barcelona, and if the ball had been played by Xavi or Iniesta back in the day into Messi, and he does that, knocks it past the defender, gets on the end of it, and does the pass finish into the sort of like the net past the goalkeeper, you'd be seeing that finish. You'd be seeing that build up the goal repeatedly, and everyone would be waxing lyrical because, fantastic ball by Iniesta, great finish by Messi, what awareness, peripheral vision, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it was Declan Rice playing the ball in to Michail Antonio, so it might not get possibly the same sort of traction, I feel, but I agree, it was an absolutely superb goal, and the fact that it came away from home from 1-0 down, we've then pulled it back to 1-1, that's the winner in the 90th minute. Oh my word.
I can't, that goal, seriously. You got the starting lineups up.
That's the Leeds lineup. I mean, they to be fair, I mean, it's not our problem, of course, but they had an awful lot of personnel issues. I think Struijk was he got red carded, didn't he, against
Liverpool.
Wasn't it Liverpool, wasn't it? Yeah, for that challenge. But they had an awful lot of players out. You had in the centre, you see Cresswell, who's the son of Richard Cresswell, their former player. No, I don't believe he's a relation of Aaron Cresswell, but there you go. I'm in block 203, Cyber. I'm not too sure. I can't remember the stands. But yeah, it's blocked. I'm in block 203. I'm in the nosebleed seats, mate. But yeah, I mean, they didn't change their shape. They're usually 4-1-4-1 in terms of their shape. So they sort of like, they put players in, they put Shackleton in, they put Cresswell in. Dallas played as a central mid. I mean, he can play anywhere, to be fair. And he actually had a really good chance in the first half that Fabianski tipped over.
Oh, and then who was the one that they put one wide where it was easier to hit the target.
Yeah, I mean, also
was that Dallas as well?
I'm not
It was Click.
sure. Yeah, I mean, we had a good chance in the first half with the scores locked at 0-0, if you remember. Antonio played Ben Rama in, he got his shot away, and Melier sort of like got across to his left-hand side, got fingertips to it and pushed it wide of the post for a corner. I mean, the first 10 minutes or so, we actually had two chances, because there was that one, and there was also a chance that Antonio had before the Ben Rama chance, where again Melier made a save, Ben Rama played him in, and at that point, I've got to be honest, I was sitting there thinking, first 10 minutes we've had two chances, it's not bad. But then of course Rafinha pops up. I mean, did you see the sort of like obviously the sort of build up to that? Thomas Souček, I think, needs to take a bit of responsibility for that.
Do you know what I think? It looked like he got caught in two minds, whether to keep hold of the ball or whether to release it. And if you see, it kind of like, it looked like he was caught in two minds, and then he kind of just done neither, and that just sort of, obviously set up their goal. I mean, he's human. I know he's super check, but he's human, and you're gonna make mistakes. And it was on the halfway line, so. But that's the Premier League, man. Sort of generally mistakes you will get punished for. But it looked like he was caught in two minds, and he kind of just, he done what he done. I thought, shit, it's too late by now. That's what it looked like anyway.
Do you think that there's possibly a reason to make, and I appreciate some people are going to say, no, you can't do that. But do you think that given the performance that Alex Crowell put in against Manchester United, do you think that maybe Thomas Souček's position is maybe under scrutiny a little bit?
No, I think Crowell, obviously, it was no disrespect to the competition, but it was the League Cup, and neither team had out their strongest team. Thomas Souček has proven his value to West Ham. He might be a little bit tired, because, like I said, that what he done there, it wasn't even a mistake. It's not even like he kicked. He kind of just you understand? It was like it was neither of what he was trying to do. He might be a little bit fatigued. He might be tired. And rather than what you not suggested, but you said could be an alternative. Maybe is there times in a game where we can get him off for the last minute and get Crowell on, just so Crowell gets that experience, and Souček gets a little bit of rest. But that game yesterday wasn't it. We scored in the last minute, so that's not the game. But I'm saying, if we are ever comfortable, I think we need to get Souček off at this moment in time. Just so you can have a little rest, basically. Yeah, if possible, and then you kind of introduce Crowell a bit slow to the Premier League and to the team, which Moyes likes to do anyway. So I think, if we are ever in that position, then we gradually get him in there. Yeah,
staying in the first half, 1-0 down. There was in the 35th minute, there was another chance that Rodrigo set up Rafinha. Fairly similar sort of strike, if you will, to the goal that beat Fabianski for 1-0. And it beat Fabianski again, only this time rebounded off of the post and away. At that point, with 10 minutes to go, were you fearing the worst?
Yeah, I was, because like I said, it's the type of game it was. If you see, I'm glad you put it out, because I was looking at that, like the chances, even the shots on target. I think West Ham had 7, they had, I think, 5, but it was the actual attempt. So it was a bit of a ding dong. And if that goes in, and you're probably going to look at them going on to win the game. So it's kind of like, like the fact that it hit the post is, you need a bit of luck along the way. You understand?
Oh, absolutely. But I believe that the luckier you, the harder you work, the luckier you tend to get. I believe in that saying quite strongly.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say we rode our luck, but I would say is that we had to stick it out in the first half. Then, like you've touched on, they had chances that, like the click one where he sort of passed it, but he just missed the whole target where you've got to at least hit the target. So we had a bit of luck along the way, but, you earn that luck. And ultimately, we was more, clinical than them. And we've scored goal. Like I said, Mikel Antonio's got no right to score that goal.
No.
So, a bit of individual brilliance as well as grit as won us the game. And you need that in a team. You can't just have all flair or all grit or all... No, you've got to have a mixture. And West Ham seem to be displaying that type of, that artillery. They've got a mix. You can mix it up a bit. Yeah.
Resilience.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just still in the first half, we had a chance in injury time of the first half with Pablo Fornals. Now, he's been in quite good form in front of goal in the beginning of this season. Meslier obviously pulled off the save.
With his feet,
should he have scored that?
Should have, yeah, he definitely... Listen, I love Pablo Fornals, and I was, championing him when other people were still doubting him. But soon as I saw that, I said, you have to score that. And he's, you're a good player. You're established now. You have to score that. So he should have scored.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely. So we then come into the second half, and as I say, you could see as the halves wore on that there was a definite shift in the momentum. We get to the 67th minute, and Jared Bowen, despite the fact he hasn't scored so far this season, I don't think anyone could turn around and say that he's not been absolutely excellent as far as 100%. Brilliant.
Definitely.
He has the ball on the right hand side. He cuts inside. He gets a shot away. I think it actually took two deflections, but
that's why it was an own goal.
The critical one was off of Junior Firpo, who obviously was linked with us in the summer tentatively. Took a deflection off of him. Meslier had no chance with that, and it nestles in the back of the net. 1-1, and there's another 23 minutes left to play. At that point, were you starting to think, we could actually go on and win this?
Yes, definitely. And the thing is, the circumstances to that goal, Firpo's playing left back, but for whatever reason, he ended up in a right back position. I don't know why, and he stayed out there. He didn't get back to his position. So when he tried to get back, he was running back scatterly, and the ball hit him. Yeah. So he should never have been in that position, and we wouldn't have got the goal off of him. Do you understand? So, like I said, sometimes you got to create your own luck. Bowen done that, but when you analyze it, if that was our defender, we would all if that was Creswell, we would be honest slaughtering him, because what Firpo done was Sunday League stuff. So, if he's gonna defend like that, I'm glad we didn't get him, because I would be fuming, man. Seriously, and then to top it off, you end up, scoring an own goal that could have easily been prevented. So. But yeah, once we scored that, the funny thing is that even though when we was down, normally when we're down, I'm like, fuck, we're shit. I don't know why I was calm. You know what? It's a new West Ham.
Yes.
And trust me, normally I'm like, we're fucking shit. No, I was calm. And I thought, you know what? Obviously, we need to get the next goal. They've had a few chances to make it 2-0. But once we got that, I felt like because of this new West Ham, we possibly or probably will go on to win this game. And which we did. You understand? So I've got a lot of confidence in the team, man, which, previous years hasn't been there.
Yeah. And obviously getting that goal in, what was it? 90th minute. Like I say, I maintain, that ball, that vision from Declan Rice, he really is becoming now. You look at Declan Rice and he's not just a bog standard defensive midfielder. He really is morphing into the complete 2021 version of what a central midfielder ought to be. He's obviously, he's fundamentally a shield for the back line. But then once he's got it, he's not just, okay, I'm going to give it to the sort of the more offensive midfielders and start the moves going in the opposite direction. He's actually starting a lot of the moves. He's making sort of the runs from deep and really sort of pushing the opposition back and putting them under pressure and getting balls, spraying passes here, there, and everywhere. He really is becoming the complete midfielder.
Do you know what game was it? Shit. But Roy Keane has said that he's a lot better than me than I was at 22 years old.
Yeah, that's quite a statement.
It might have been in the game that we lost to them. It must have
I
been. So
think it
yeah.
was. Yeah, I didn't actually hear the comment directly. I heard about it latterly.
Right. So we've lost to them. Keane is obviously a Man United guy, but he said, listen, at 22, he's I think he said way ahead of where I was. And you know what, obviously, how
Roy
good
Keane was
Roy Keane
world
was.
class. Well,
Yeah, so
in his pomp, he was the best central midfielder alongside probably Patrick Vieira. It was always, which one you preferred, but it was, when you were picking, for probably a good 5 years between, I would say, about 97 and around about sort of 2002, that sort of realm, if you was putting together a Premier League 11 and your central midfield, it would always be Vieira and Keane would always be in there.
Right. So, some people are, I see that as humble, but there's certain ex-pros that they would never say that. And, and we know that because of the Irish thing, Keane, I don't know, but for him to say that, basically, it must mean something because of, like I said, he switched alliances and Keane's a former player and, like he's not downplaying how good he was, but he's saying, listen, at that age, he's way ahead of me. So that's probably the biggest compliment you can get from anyone because of who Roy Keane is and how he played.
Yeah.
And I fully agree. I fully agree with, because he was still at Forest then, wasn't he, at 22?
At 22, I think he was. I think he left for Manchester United, maybe 22, 23, something like that. So,
yeah, and I fully agree. I've got a few, there used to be naysayers, and now they're saying to me, Declan Rice is the real deal. So, from when you're hearing it from people that used to doubt him and this, that, like, like you said, he's proven to be a all-round centre midfielder.
Yeah. Although having given him an awful lot of credit, Declan Rice, which I think is absolutely deserved, and I stand by every word of that. Let me just scroll in on this for you, ladies and gentlemen. When we have conversation as who was, hang on, can I scroll in a bit more? Yeah. About who was the player of the match yesterday, man of the match. I've got to draw your attention to two players in particular, Saeed Benrahma and Michail Antonio. Specifically their stats there, just to sort of scroll out and just sort of like talk about it. So Michail Antonio, 7 shots, 3 on target, 4 key passes, and obviously the winning goal. Saeed Benrahma as well, 5 shots, 1 on target, 3 key passes. And look at that pass accuracy, 90.3%. I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal, isn't it, Titch?
Yeah, and look at Bowen's as well, 90.5.
Yeah, he was 90.5. I mean, he's on batteries, isn't he? I mean, he just runs and runs and runs. I honestly thought, because obviously he played as the number 9 against Manchester United, when we did the pre-match, I actually didn't have him in the starting 11. It was nothing to do with his performance levels, which is absolutely exemplary. But I thought this might just be the opportunity that David Moyes might have taken to just say to him, right, I'm going to put you on the bench. I might introduce you up with about half hour to go, but I'm going to go with Vlasic, this, that, and the other. But when obviously 2 o'clock, the teams were announced, Bowen was in the starting lineup. And yeah, I agree with that, Larry. He is absolutely massive for us at the minute.
Yeah, and I mean, just going quickly back to that game, I think, I named my team beforehand, and it was the exact same team apart from, I think, Masuaku, and I forgot, but I didn't think anyway, and Bowen. But if in hindsight, it was a perfect call because he played a major part in that 1-0 victory away. So without him, would we have won that game? I don't know. So Moyes, he got it right in that particular game. So yeah, Bowen is proving his worth to this team. Like, even though he hasn't scored.
I think it's a toss up between him and Antonio. I would probably just go in favour of Antonio. This is just my opinion, as I say. I think that the fact that he obviously got the 90th minute winner, he played 4 key passes in offensive areas. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, but that is absolutely, it's one of those, there was probably the width of a hair between them, if I'm being honest. I'm probably just going to lean towards Antonio over the fact he got the decisive goal. I mean, what do you say, Titch?
Do you know what?
I think this one's a problem. I think this one. Sorry, I think that one's a slightly tongue-in-cheek comment. Yeah. I hope so, Epic.
The fact that we are in, I would say, in the space of 3 months, is now speaking about Said Benrahma as man of the match goes to show you, one, how much work he would have put in the training ground to get up to Moyes' methods in regards to your work rate. And also, it shows, obviously, Moyes is, like we was calling for Benrahma last season.
Yep.
And it took him a long time, but obviously Moyes knew what he was doing. And now the fact, like I said, that, some people look at him like a luxury player and maverick and that. And the fact that we're saying, look, man of the match, he didn't score, he didn't get an assist. He didn't get an assist either. But we're saying potentially hair's width as to, so that speaks a lot for him. And, David Moyes, that Said Benrahma has got up to scratch this quick, because it looked like last season, many times thinking, have we made the wrong signing here? Is it going to be another signing? We just sold Hilaire, a massive loss. Is this going to be another one where it didn't work out? I was even saying, boy, should we have gone for Eze? Because Eze was tearing up the Premier League. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But, it's taken a bit of time, but now, he's found his full man, and, he's a West Ham player. And the fact that he's putting in the miles as well, he's doing his job defensively as well. So
you say that, I've literally just got it up on the screen there. Said Benrahma defensively, total tackles 4, interceptions 1, clearances 1. I mean, again, I know he's not a defender, I know that's not fundamentally what he's there to do, but defensively that contribution is absolutely massive. I mean, he made one challenge, didn't he? I think we got hit. It's all right. I think we got hit with a counter attack, and who was it that made the recovery challenge on the edge of the box? It was Said Benrahma. I mean, he's not just an offensive player now. Moyes has obviously made him in this last year or so. He's got into him and he's made him. We knew that sort of like he was a very, very skillful, very, very talented sort of like attacking player. But now Moyes has added that little bit of defensive steel to his game, and those stats bear it out.
Do you know, I can't remember what game it was last year, and I think on my channel I just said, he needs to have the confidence to shoot, because we knew him at Brentford for cutting in and shooting. Did you say he had 4 shots yesterday?
Yes. Hang on just a moment.
No, that's tackles.
No, that's tackles. Hang on, let me just whiz back.
4 shots, though.
He had 5 shots. 5 shots, right. 1 on target, which was the save by Meslier, and he made 3 key passes with a 90.3% pass accuracy.
Now, you know what I think? And I said this I thought last season that he didn't feel confident. He didn't feel comfortable within the team, and he was holding back. I think now he knows, listen, if you shoot and it goes sky high, it doesn't matter. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So the fact that he's getting off his shots as well as the key passes, I just think now he feels settled at West Ham and in the Premier League. And now he knows, if I shoot and I miss, everybody does that. You understand? But if you don't shoot, you don't score. So, I just think that everything's falling into place for Benrahma. So,
I mean, I think it's very much, I think he's probably last season, it was probably a sort of confidence thing. Do I belong here? Does the manager fancy me? There's a little bit of self-doubt that might have been creeping in, quite understandably. I think that you wouldn't be human if, you were getting pulled off after 60 minutes or 55 minutes of a match. And you're looking at other players and thinking, well, there are other players that are probably playing at a similar level to me. Why is it always me that's getting pulled off? Then the next game he's starting on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think he would have been human to not have a little bit of a crisis, a sort of like a confidence sort of issue maybe. But I think that, like I say, now David Moyes has really got into him what he wants out of him. And as I say, you look at those defensive stats, as I say, that the challenge that he made on the edge of our box in the, I'm sure it was the first half. It was a recovery challenge. Now, I maintain that Said Benrahma last season, that would not have happened.
No chance.
So,
no chance.
He's absolutely developed his game brilliantly. And just looking here, just a couple more sort of stats for Said Benrahma. He played 3 long balls. All 3 of them were accurate. So it's not just he's played a long sort of like he's made the hit and hope, and none of them have come off. All 3 of them hit their intended target. And look at that again, another little stat for you. He played 1 through ball and it was accurate. So there you go. Between them, 4 long passes, if you will, incisive defense splitting passes. All of them hit their intended target, and he's very efficient now.
Which was probably Jared Bowen on the other wing. That he's
quite possibly. We get to our nuggets, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go, Titch. There's only 3 of them today. Leeds have lost consecutive home league matches against us for the first time in their history. That's not bad. Little bit of history was created.
More with Moyes. More Moyes history.
Absolutely. You want another one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. We have won each of our last 3 Premier League games when we've conceded the first goal, all of which have been away from home, and it's the first time we have won 3 consecutive such matches in the Premier League. Now, again, this is testament to what we're talking about. This is a team of characters. This is a team that has a certain resilience about them. This is a team that, okay, we're away from home. It's a hostile atmosphere. We're 1-0 now down, but do you know what? We're still in this game. And like I say, the last 3 times we've gone 1-0 down away from home, we've turned it around each time, and it's never happened before in the Premier League.
So that was yesterday, Newcastle, and then it would have been last season. What's the last game?
West Brom.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that was the corner from the Brazilian fella, Pereira.
Yeah, Pereira, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Matt Randolph.
And he was there, woo! He's getting excited, and yeah. Okay, yeah, that's, even that is like, it's all things that have never happened.
Oh, hang on. What's this? What's this?
What
song? Hold on.
So,
hang on. Yeah.
I know our front 3. Go on, sing it, Gatesy. Please.
Oh,
please.
Right. You want me to do this?
Please.
I'll tell you what, the viewership could go right down now.
Nah. If anything, it will go up a bit. They'll be like, yes, Gatesy.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Right, exactly, okay. Gatesy.
I'm going to make a fool of myself, but
Come on,
whatever.
Gatesy.
Listen, if you're watching and sort of like you like it, please click subscribe. If you don't like it, please click subscribe.
Please.
Whatever.
They will like it.
Ben Rama. Oh, Jared Bowen. Mikel Antonio, will you score West Ham a goal?
Yes, Gatesy. But the ending is Mikel Antonio, can you score us a goal? But you can end it how you want.
That's a little bit too short, I think, isn't it?
Okay. Well,
you need to extend it a bit.
It's open. That's what Pete said. Open to interpretation.
Yeah, that's the thing about songs, isn't it? You can sort of like add little bits and pieces and make it your own. And Lawrence, I mean, if you think that was nice, mate, listen, you've got low standards as far as singing.
It was better. It was better than I expected. Like, it was decent, mate. But the basic, the basic premise is we got a wonderful front 3. And I think if once Antonio would have scored yesterday, if they were singing that in the stadium, that would have just we need to get that song out there. But just as
it's out there. It's out there now. We've got it out there.
Kick off. We get someone on the trumpet. So when they Ben Ram and then
no, I didn't. Epic. 10 minutes straight. Seriously?
No, 10 minutes.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we need a trumpet.
I used to be able to play the trumpet when I was a kid.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah, but hold on, we're talking 30 years ago, mate. If you handed me a trumpet now and said, Gatesy, crack on with that, I'd be like, no chance. No chance. That is true. If you're singing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles," it's always a good song. Mind you, I always sound to me when I'm sort of like I've had a couple of beers, I sound like the best singer in the world to me. But the thing is, everybody in front of me is doing that, so it kind of gives the game away.
Nah, that was decent. That was actually decent.
Oh, I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. You are too kind. Right, I think I've got one more nugget. Yes, I have. West Ham's Mikel Antonio became just the 3rd player to score a 90th minute winner against Leeds at Elland Road in the Premier League, after Nolberto Solano for Newcastle in December 2001 and Scott Parker for Charlton in December 2002.
And they were all both ex-West Ham players.
You noticed. Wow. There's a pattern. Yes, they're all ex-West Ham players.
Wow, that's crazy,
That is
because when I first read it, I thought they were saying, West Ham's 3rd player, but it's only the 3rd player ever. And look, they both played for West Ham as well.
Now that Alex makes an interesting point.
Yes, someone said that. One of the
Would
sorry to cut you. One of the kids at football, none of them is West Ham, but when we was driving to the game today, they said the same thing. Like England effed up by not picking. Yeah, but carry on. Sorry.
But that's the thing is though, Titch. At the time that he made the decision, I think he's made the right decision at the time he made it. Obviously, you know, he's gone on 5 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. Would he walk into the England squad right now? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, name me a striker that's in better form. I'll wait.
Exactly. I'll wait.
But at the time that he made that decision, I think he looked at it and said, "I'm probably not going to play for England. 30 years of age. I'm being, you know." I'm being given sort of like the opportunity to potentially play in a World Cup down the track. I've got to grab this with both hands. And I said it, I don't blame the guy. I think if I'd have been in the same position, I'd have done the same thing. And I wish him all the luck in the world. The only thing, obviously, with my West Ham hat on is that I do worry about him jetting across to the other side of the Atlantic, playing on pitches that are maybe not of Premier League quality, testing his hamstrings, possibly putting a bit more mileage on that, and then obviously coming back fatigued and possibly getting an injury either while he's out there or possibly because he's sort of like he's tired and you know, with the extra sort of wear and tear on the hamstrings. But as a career decision, he made the right choice.
Do you know what the good thing for me is? Obviously, my mum is Jamaican, born. My dad is English with, you know, Irish roots. So him going to Jamaica for me is also, that's my country as well. You understand? England and Jamaica. So yeah, like he's still playing for one of my countries basically. So yeah, he's still at home. For me, he's Jamaican.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, sort of like, you know, we'd have preferred him not to be, like I say, it's the travelling across the Atlantic that I sort of, you know, jet lag and things like that I sit there and go, And Epic, you know, if they're saying that still now, I mean, good God, if he's not a striker, what is he? What is he?
And, you know, if you look at all of the types of goals he scored, including the one in Europe, then they're very various or varied type of goals. So, you know, to be a striker, you need to have, you know, like you need to score different types of goals. And
absolutely,
he's doing that. You know, like I can't wait. If I see a Mikel Antonio score from outside the box,
oh, hang on,
that's this guy. Maybe he don't score outside the box. He scores outside the box.
I'm getting trolled by my daughter. Can you believe this?
You want to pass it going forward, or are you going to carry on chatting?
I'm getting trolled by my own daughter. That is unbelievable.
I saw a Jamaica comment before that, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've never been to Jamaica, right? I'd love to go. I know that when we, my wife and I got married in 2002, I did ask her in the run-up to, you know, where would you like to go on honeymoon? And she turned around, she said she'd like to go to Barbados over in the West Indies and all that. So I was like, okay. We ended up going to Bognor. Began with a B. So, you know, well, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it.
Okay, sorry.
But I've turned around and said I would like, obviously, once the kids get, you know, and they're, you know, I've got 2 boys that are 18 now, so they're doing their own thing, and my daughter's going to be 14 later this year. So we're getting to that point of our life where, you know, in a couple of years, maybe 5-10 years from now, something like that, they're going to be doing their own thing. And, you know, at that point, it might well be that maybe I do jump on a plane and go to Jamaica, you know, in that part of the world. You know, I'd like to go and sort of like just travel around and see different things, different sites, different experiences.
Oh, look,
you know.
Lawrence has been about 7 times.
Oh, yes, mate. Lawrence. Tell me. Sell it to me, Lawrence. Sell it to me.
He's rubbing it in while he's speaking about Bognor. He's like, yeah, I've just been there 7 times anyway.
It was my wife's aunt and uncle. As I say, we were saving very hard for a property and all the rest of it. We paid for the wedding and blah blah blah, and we ended up in Bognor. As I say, it's close to Barbados. It began with a B.
Yeah, either.
Do you want to see the league table, Tish?
Please.
This is good reading. Right, so here we go. Premier League table. This was taken before the game at the Emirates, so it's maybe not quite up to date, but you'll have to forgive me.
Tottenham are one place below that.
They are they? Right, okay. What about Arsenal? Have they're on 9 points Tottenham now? So we're still 7th then, are we?
Yeah. And they both got a minus goal difference.
And when you sit there, you look at it and you sort of sit there and go, you know, I know it's all ifs and ands and all the rest of it, but if Mark Noble gets that penalty, scores the penalty last week, we're on 12 points and we're level.
And Man United,
yeah,
above Man United. because they got.
Oh yeah,
because
they'd have
11 points.
Yeah, that's
They'd
true.
have had 11.
Yeah,
Do you know?
Yeah, that would have been
Don't
massive.
you think it's a bit crazy how the universe works that they end up surviving a last-minute penalty or against us, and then the following Premier League game they end up you understand? It's crazy how things work out sometimes.
Look at this. This is my cousin. He says he's been out there. I'll tell you what, Dave. I'll take that recommendation. I will go. And I'm still being trolled by my daughter. Look at this. You already had a house. Yes, my darling daughter. I had to pay for a mortgage. It's called a mortgage.
Gatesy,
you won't understand this.
Well done, Elizabeth.
She's. I'll tell you what. I need to have words with her. I need to have words with this kid.
Yeah.
She calls me a muppet. That's not very nice. I'm your dad. I used to change your. Look at this. Look at this.
Money.
Really? And what's this? Thanks, my Pookie Bet. Whatever. Yeah. I've got no idea what she's waffling on about.
Pookie Bet.
No idea. No idea.
But yeah, we 7th. Yeah, we lost, and the only game we lost was, like, I think we deserved a point out of it, but it is what it is. So and the thing is, it didn't affect us. You understand? So you put that into the equation. You put Europe as well, which is, we ain't been in Europe for many, many of years. Yep. West Ham have had a great start to the season. You look at the Southampton, the 0-0, and the Palace, the 2. It's the Premier League, and you ain't going to win everything. But the Southampton game, we cleared one off the line. They hit the post. So West Ham could have easily have dropped other points, and we didn't. So yeah, man. I think it's been a solid start. Rapid Vienna lost today as well.
Did
so
they?
They're not doing. Yeah,
they're doing because obviously poorly. Thursday. Do you see it's going to be a similar team to what took to the pitch in Zagreb? Do you think there's going to be a few changes?
I think that having to win the group, which I didn't know before the competition started, but that's crucial now. So remember, I was saying to you that I feel we should give Noble and all them starts in the group. I didn't know that you had to win the group realistically. So now because of that.
Well, if you finish second, you have to play one of the teams that finished third in the groups of the Champions League. Whereas if you finish first, you go straight into the last 16. It's a little bit of if you finish second, you have to play like a playoff round.
So I think now because of that, he's kind of has to go for it in Europe because that may well be our best chance of actually getting back into it next year. So why would you not, go for it? So yeah, I think he's going to play as strong a team as possible in that competition.
If you had to predict, just as a little bit of fun, and any of you guys in the live chat, if you want to sort of jump in with this, please do. Put yourself in David Moyes' shoes. Obviously, we've just had the game yesterday. We've got a game on Thursday at home to Rapid Vienna in the Europa League group stage. And then following on from that on Sunday, we play Brentford, I believe, at London Stadium, if my memory serves. So, Titch, I'll put you in David Moyes' shoes. And like I say, you guys in the live chat, please feel free. I'll get your comments up and we'll sort of pick the bones over it just for a bit of fun. What formation are you playing? Are you playing 4-2-3-1?
Let me just check that. I'm going to stick to the formation that we play just so that everybody gets familiar with that. So yeah, I'm definitely playing that formation.
Who's your goalkeeper?
I'm going to go with Areola in goal because I think in this competition against this opposition, Rapid Vienna at home, the goalkeeper shouldn't really make any difference, and Areola needs to get some experience. Now, Fredericks is not available. If he was available,
sure about that.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
I've heard whispers that he might be available. I've heard whispers, but
what I was going to say is, if he was available, I would pick him over Soufal because Soufal had to come on for him in the League Cup game very early, which wasn't the plan, and Fredericks was doing really well. So I would go with, let's say he is fit. I would go with Fredericks.
Yep.
I would go. You know what? I think I would just go with Diop and Dawson. Because I think I would actually. Diop and Dawson, so we protect the other two and give them a bit of rest. Left back, I think I might go with Ben Johnson.
Okay.
I think I would.
He didn't do himself.
You know what I'm looking at, Gatesy?
Harm against Man United, did he?
No, and I'm looking at the opposition saying, look, we're at home. We won the first game. They lost their first game, I think, in injury time again.
Yeah.
They're not having the best of seasons. So if we can't feel confident to play a slightly weaker team against them, then that means he hasn't got the trust in those players. And I think he does have. So, yeah, I'd go Johnson. I would play Krau and Rice in the middle so that Suchek can get the rest that we were speaking about.
Yep.
I would have him on the bench though, just in case I would have I would go Lanzini in front.
Okay. In the number 10 position.
As a 10.
Yep.
And then I would go Masuaku as a left-sided attacker.
Yep.
I would go with I think I would go Vlasic on the right.
Okay.
And I would have to start with Yarmolenko only because, like I said, we don't have another striker other than Antonio. So all the big guns would be on the bench. Big gun starting would be Declan Rice. That's it. Yeah, and I feel that squad, if they applied itself the way they should do and could do, we would get the job done. I think we'd win that game 2-0. Yeah. And if we don't have to use the bench, Noble coming on fine, but I'm saying if we don't have to bring on your Antonios, Bowen needs a rest, Fornals, Ben Rama, then that's been a very, very successful mission. If we can get 3 points, play the shadow squad, that's what I'll call them for this, and not even use those players. When we go into that Brentford game at home, Brentford, I was trying to look, are they the same team
didn't they?
away from home than they are at home, but they beat Wolves away. So, yeah, we need to be, fully firing against Brentford. So I think that we need to, and I just think Rice is that key to us that if it's him or Suchek, I would have to start Rice. And, if we can get him off in the second half or after 60 minutes and get Noble on and get a win, that's going to be a perfect scenario for West Ham going into the Brentford game. So, what about your team? Or what do you think of my team? Actually,
okay, well, before probably not a million miles away from mine. I'm just going to get Lawrence's comment because I said I would sort of put anyone in the live chat that made a comment. Excuse me, it's not COVID. Before anyone says anything, it's not COVID. I've done the test.
Oh, you got me.
Take off.
You got me.
It's just a cough.
I'm dying.
No, honestly, I get people sort of like recoiling in horror because I've got the temerity to cough. And it's like I always put my hand in front of my mouth for God's sakes. But it's a cough. I've done a COVID test. I've done the thing up the nose and down the throat. It's and I tell you what, if anyone's watching this that hasn't had a COVID test done, and there's probably a very few and far between, but if you haven't, oh my God, it's horrible, absolutely horrible experience. But Lawrence says he would put out the team and formation like we did against Manchester United. Obviously, that's on the basis that Fredericks does actually sort of come back. As I say, I heard a whisper that it's maybe not as bad as people originally suspected, but Lawrence said he'd go with the Man United team in the League Cup, which I mean, what would I go with? I think I'd absolutely go with Areola in goal. I wouldn't change the shape. I think that we're pretty settled with that. I would go, if he's available, I would go Fredericks at right back, and if he's not, then I'd say okay. Vladimir Tufal would have to be in there. Centre backs, I would go Zuma and Diop. I'd sort of like I'd sort of do half and half. I'd have the sort of like the one first team centre back and the other one that's possibly not. Although I got to be honest with you, I think that Diop, I know it was sort of like against Manchester United's reserve team and all that. I thought he was outstanding against Manchester United, and I think he could count himself very unlucky that he didn't start yesterday. But that competition for places is absolutely critical in any successful team. You need to have people on the bench that are pushing the people that have got that first team spot to give their absolute best. And as soon as it drops below their absolute best, bang, they're in. They're in. That's what healthy competition is all about. So I would go Fredericks if he's available, and if he's not, Vladimir Tufal. Diop in for Ogbonna alongside Zuma. Left, I would go, and I don't like putting him there, but I can, he did have a decent game against Man
United.
Look at your messages quickly. No. Kids. She's only sitting over there, for God's sake. Right. So, yeah, I'd go Johnson at left back. Then in front of them, I would go Crowell and I'd go Crowell and Rice. I'd go Crowell and Rice. Number 10, I would go. Yeah, I'd probably go with Lanzini. On the right, I would go Vlasic. On the left, Masuaku, and up top, I'd probably go Bowen. That would be probably one change that I would not. I know that sort of like Bowen, like I said, you know, I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd have been rested yesterday because obviously he's the one player out of the front four that hasn't had a sort of like a rest, but he just doesn't look like it's bothering him. He doesn't look leggy at all. He looks like he's still operating at a high level. So I'm like, actually, would I rather have Yarmolenko as the 9 or would I rather have Bowen? I mean, it's no contest.
Do you know what? This is what I think. I think us as West Ham fans, right? If let's say he plays Bowen and, you know, like all of a sudden Bowen don't play at the weekend because he's tight, everybody would say, look, on paper, Rapid Vienna at home, out of the 6 games, will be our easiest game. Why did Moy? Do you understand? I think Bowen needs a rest, and if he's looking sharp and all that's fine. Let's try and keep that up by when we can give him a rest. Same thing with Souček, give him a rest. And I just think that if we can't approach that game at home to them, thinking, you know what, we've got a good enough team to beat them. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, then it's like I just think that just give him a rest. Or like I said, all the big guns on the bench, and if we need to use them, we use them. If we don't, that is the perfect situation. Yeah. That's just me personally, because at some point he's going to need a rest, and we will say, you know, he's overused Bowen. What did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah,
true. You played him against Rapid Vienna. Yeah, that you understand. But that's me personally. The thing is, the flip side is, you would want to play him because he looks on fire at the minute, and you know all he needs is a goal as well. And then, but I think sometimes you've got to take care of these players, and we don't have the strongest squad. You understand? So I would rest him, and I would. The plan would be, I'm not even using this guy. You know what I'm saying? Even if I've been Ben Rama or Fornal somewhere else, I would try and him and Souček, I would try and just not even play them. But you know, it just depends how the game's going.
Yeah, and I guess this is the problem with not having a reserve recognised number 9. But then again, people would say that Antonio's not a first team number 9. As I say, I don't subscribe to that. I think he's played in that position for the last year and a half and he's excelled. I think at some point you have to go, he's no longer a winger. He is now a striker. Like I say, 5 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. You know, he's not a goalkeeper, for goodness sake. So... You know,
what about he could be a singer, a striker winger. Like you're
maybe.
A
singer. steady. Behave yourself. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there. But guys, don't forget the appeal for Isla continues. As I say, this little girl, the family needs our help. You know, you all know the story. You know, she's struggling with neuroblastoma. She needs treatment overseas. The family need our help. So, guys, this is in the description below YouTube and Facebook. You can copy and paste it, put it onto your social media platforms, tell your friends and your family and your followers what it's all about. Try and keep a little bit of the momentum behind this campaign. If you're in a position to be able to donate as well yourself, there is a Just Giving link there should you wish to do so. Please give generously. And I thank you very much indeed for your consideration. As well as you, Titch, I thank you very much indeed for your time and your contribution. Of course.
Right, I mean this as well. I can't wait for this channel to get to 1,000 subscribers, right? So people that are still watching, you know, no one really shares people's stuff. I know everybody on YouTube says, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share, but people don't. If you share, you know, even snippets or on your Twitter and all of that, then Gatesy and Duke will get there, you know, like they're close. So just try and do what you can.
928, I think we're at last I looked.
Try and do what you can to try and help them get there, you know. So I genuinely can't wait till you get to 1,000 subscribers and then keep on building from there. So come on, people, man, let's just share and promote the channel. It's so close. So,
it's been a labor of love, I've got to say, since February for Duke and I. And you know, we didn't know how long it would take, and sort of like we didn't know sort of what you know, how it was going to go and how long we were going to last, and we're still here. But appreciate you the shout out, and the same goes the other way. Please do, if you haven't already, Hammers Fans United on YouTube. Go onto the search bar, put Hammers Fans United in. If you haven't already done so, click subscribe, and you'll see. No, he's there. You'll see this gentleman looking at you, looking very handsome and resplendent. Yeah, he talks a lot of sense, and as you've seen on this stream, he's got his opinions, and you can agree, you can disagree. You're not going to agree with every. I mean, there's, you know, I will say things that Titch will disagree with. Titch will say things I disagree with, and we all sort of. But you know what? This is the one thing I love about this is that, you know, if everybody can just sit down and talk like adults and talk constructively, it doesn't matter whether Titch says something that I disagree with and vice versa. Do you know, at the end of it, we can go, okay, you know, I don't agree with you, but I can see your point of view, and we part as friends, and that's what I love about all of this.
Respect. I'm all about respect.
And just going to have a quick look at the Lawrence, greatly appreciate that, mate. I really do. And also he comes back and says respect for yourself as well, Titch. So,
nice one, Lawrence.
And as I say, so guys, don't forget, share the love, like the stream here, subscribe to both Fulsham Iron West Ham United and Hammers Fans United. And for both channels, make sure you click the respective bells so that as and when we upload stuff to our respective channels, you are notified straight away of any new content uploaded to the channel. Cheers, Pete. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch us waffling on about the game yesterday.
No waffle. That was a good show. Yeah.
Not bad. We're going to finish off with our usual sign-off then, Titch.
Done. Oh, what's it? Okay, before we do, Ben Rama.
You going to sing?
Dun, dun, dun,
Go on.
dun, dun. Jared Bowen. Dun, 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 dun. Michelantonio. Can you score us a goal? Or however you want to end it.
Whatever you want to end it.
I made up that song.
I padded it out, but
I made up the song. Get it in the stadium, please. And I want to see Gatesy. I want to see you every time you come on. You better sing it, mate. And yeah, all of you lot, should be singing that in your living rooms watching this now. But
like I say, I don't think I've got a very good singing voice. I think if I start off the stream with that and I'm asking people to subscribe, they're probably gonna say, "Oh, no, thanks."
Nah, they will. But you know what? We've got a fantastic front three, man. They deserved a little tune. So
needed a tune.
Three, yeah,
absolutely.
They needed a tune.
Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to finish with our usual sign out. Come on, you Irons.
You Irons.